What is going on, kings and queens of this wonderful wonderland that we call YouTube? It's the Mad Hatter here, coming at you once again as the disembodied voice in your head, this time to not only bring you a very, very special video, but also one that I've been waiting quite a long time to actually do. Now, I don't normally put this kind of spotlight on a particular piece of my collection, but I felt like I had to. So without further ado, as we get ready for the grand reveal here, filming in a room that I don't normally film in, we're going to look at the newest piece of my collection, my Atari 2600. Now, upon closer inspection, pardon me folks, gotta stand up here. There we are, there she is. So, if you're part of the older group of collectors, you know exactly why I'm excited about this. You know exactly what this means to me as a collector. But if you're part of the younger crowd that's watching this video and going, why would I want this dusty old dinosaur from 1977, I'd be happy to explain to you. Two reasons why I'm absolutely stoked to have this beautiful piece. One is because I've never owned one. I've never even seen one in the flesh before last week. The Atari was always a video game system. It was kind of my myth and legend. It was one that I knew of. I knew were out there, but I've never seen before firsthand. So I'm really stoked to actually have one now. And actually, how this came about was last week, my wonderful girlfriend, who is very supportive of my collection and always has an eye out for new pieces, came to me with an old Atari Junior that she found in her dad's garage that she thought I would like to have. Unfortunately, it had what I would call a shark bite, nice crack down the middle of the casing, and some pieces were missing, so I wasn't able to resurrect it back to its former glory and use it. It turned on, but that's pretty much all it did. But in disappointment, it kind of sparked my want to get my hands on one. So after a couple days of searching and researching, I got my hands on this beauty with 140 games. Sorry, not 140 games. 28 games and 7 controllers for 140 bucks. So, you know, for me, I kind of feel like I stole it, but, you know, probably the most exciting part about this, for me, is just the conditioning that it's in. The guy I got it from took very good care of it. There's no dings. It's dusty, but it's really good cosmetically and stuff. Now, as I said in the beginning of this video, before the Atari 2600 Junior was brought to me, and before I bought this one, I had no experience with Ataris, which led to events such as me taking about 5 or 10 minutes to actually put the cartridge in the system because I had no idea how. I actually had to look up on the internet how to do it, which is kind of embarrassing. I've never had to do that before, but I thought instead of me explaining how you do it, I'd just show you. So basically, what took me 10 or so minutes to figure out is that here you have the cartridge. Miss Pac-Man's going to help us out today with this. So, we're used to games going in like so. Front facing, slides down into the thing, which is how I thought it was going to work. Much to my surprise, I learned that Atari likes to do things ass backwards, and not only put the cartridge in upside down, like so, but also facing away from us, like so. So all you see from the cartridge is the top sticking out. Sorry for my shadow there, but you see the top sticking out like that, and that took me some surfing on the internet to figure out. Very puzzling, very confusing, and of course when I figured it out, I felt very stupid. But yeah, so I have learned more about Ataris in the last couple of weeks than I have my entire life. For instance, I got the Atari 2600 specifically that I wanted. I wanted the wood grain one as opposed to the Darth Vader black one. I don't know, I like the wood grain. I think it looks better. It's just kind of nice, kind of rustic. I like it. So yeah, one of the reasons was, of course, personal taste. I wanted it in the collection, never had it, never seen one, and was finally blessed enough to finally have one. The other reason is, of course, historical purposes. This is one of the first at-home consoles. It was made in 1977, as I alluded earlier, and it's what brought us games like Donkey Kong and Pac-Man and Space Invaders and Centipede and all those greats that, defined a company or a market, I should say, for video games. It's what created games today. Games today are inspired by games on the Atari. So there's a lot of historical value in this system for me, which makes, me very proud to own this. And I'm actually, when I finally got my hands on it the other day, when the Amazon truck pulled up, or the UPS truck, it was hard for me not to get a little bit choked up, just because I feel like this system is a milestone for me. I showed off my collection on this channel before in a series of videos, but this is the, as collectors of whatever you decide to collect, you love your collection as a whole, but there's always one piece that has significant value to you. It could be your favorite piece because of sentimental value, like my Sega Genesis or Nintendo 64 has, but this is just the milestone because, to me, this is history. So yeah, like I said, there was, of course, the fact of finally owning one, finally, bringing home the myth and the legend and being able to experience all these games firsthand for myself, which is also tied into, the historical reasons of this being one of, if not the first, at-home consoles. So kids didn't just have to go to arcades anymore. They could, challenge their friends from the comfort of their own home. So that being said, I'm gonna sit back down here, so pardon me. Get a nice shot of the garbage can there. So I know that the Atari isn't the most beautifully, it doesn't, their games don't have great stories or the best graphics, but I can say in the couple of days that I spent prior to making this video just getting a feel for it, spending some real intimate time with the games, I can say that while they are not the best quality, they are super addicting. Me and my girlfriend specifically have really enjoyed playing games and beating each other, and it's been fun. It's a very simple system, the Atari 2600, but it's a lot of fun to just sit and enjoy with people. And it's kind of heartwarming because when I told my grandpa that I wanted to buy an Atari and I found one, he's the one that actually helped me buy it, and just the pure excitement that came over him, because it's very rare that I see my grandpa be so excited about my collection like this, but he was really excited to hear that I was bringing this home, because this was the very first video game system he had when my mom and my aunts were growing up. So I got to hear stories about him, ordering it out of the Sears catalog as it did it came back in the day, and all the hours spent playing Pong and Space Invaders and Centipede and all that good stuff. And I actually I told my mom about it, and she was talking smack about her being the world's best Pong player, or at least in the household, the best Pong player. So I'm definitely going to have to get her here and prove her wrong. But yeah, it's just to have such a historical piece. This is definitely, like I said, everybody loves every piece in their collection, but they have certain ones for whatever reason that are their favorite or that mean the most to them. And I think for the sentimental reasons that my grandparents and my mom have with it, to the historical reasons, and just the milestone of my collection, I would say that the Atari 2600 here is my Mona Lisa. Like, this is the top of the food chain for me. Now, there are some people, whether young or old, that might not look at the Atari 2600 here and see exactly what I see. But that's the beauty of different people's tastes, and when they share their collection, you get to see the passion and stuff. And this is definitely a piece that I am, as you can probably tell, very, very passionate about. Now, in closing, away from the Atari here, I got something in the box that I wanted to share because I think they're just as cool as the machine itself. The guy that I got this from, upon throwing in some old instruction manuals to the games, threw in these old Atari catalogs. Now, for you youngsters out there, it's basically the equivalent of the Game Informer magazine that you get from GameStop, that come every month in the mail or what have you. They show you what games are coming out. They're filled with pretty cool artwork. And I mean, it's, to some it would be really insignificant little books that wouldn't really matter, but I think they're really cool pieces, and I'm as happy to have these as I am that beauty. So that being said, ladies and gentlemen, my Atari 2600 and I thank you very much for watching, and until next time, as always, I salute you. You can't see it, but I'm saluting you. And remember, we're all mad here.